Hello guys, you're in the Voicer channel and this is Voice. In the 1080 years the Olympic Games were held in the Soviet Union, which were visited by very few countries because at the time the USSR was doing the same things that Russia is doing now, namely war of conquest, then with Afghanistan, now with Ukraine. But one way or another, the Olympic Games took place. Most of them were held in the Moscow, but the yacht regatta was held in Tallinn. And for this, a huge complex was erected, was used once, and was later abandoned. And now it has turned into the largest graffiti hall of fame in the city. This place is called Hall, and today I will show you all the pieces drawn here and draw here myself. Before the start of the video I will ask you to subscribe, like the video and write any comments to promote, and we can start. At the very bottom of the spot there are pieces of pucks, and on the left there is a flop of the IE and a piece of KST. On the right everything is just in text. Then we will go up. On the second floor are pieces of Sayre and some incomprehensible piece of unknown author. And behind we is a piece of AC and flop Bas ACS from Swedish writers. On the left side of the second floor there are pieces of NGR and LFD. I don't know where they come from, but in style it also looks like something Scandinavian. From here we can see the third floor. You can see a pieces of 10, you can see different flops. Next comes a piece of Chizhik spoiled by toys in Russian letters, and right behind it some remnant of the piece is also visible. It is immediately clear from the style that the author is Swedish. Next comes a piece of AX, and on top is an underdrawn flop. There is also a wall with the graffiti on the backside, but it is overgrown with grass, and I cannot read what is written here. Behind my back is a piece of Rus, then against NGR. Further on there are two drawings destroyed by toys that I can't read. Above them there is a throw up NK and a huge roll up Merc. And along the side wall there is a very cool piece of Blur and a piece of Caesar. In the Arc Flop movie, and all sorts of difficult toys. Further we see Sayre Graffiti again, then comes the flop VK, on top are pieces of Crew, OPG and AC. Here is a place very spoiled by the toys. From under all this bullshit you can see an old piece of Chizh in Russian letters. Next come a piece of Passer. At the end of the first wall there is a covered roll-up with a weak piece of earth, but next to it there is a very cool piece of columns. Next comes a piece from Passer, a flop from the Greek, and flop GR, and flops AC, and a piece of Fair destroyed by the toys. From below there are pieces from X, hexea screw, a liner, and some kind of wild style that I can't read. Further on is a piece from the Veos and some two pieces that I cannot read because they are already a little old and shabby, and on the side a huge piece from Hegea screw. The side staircase is covered with some toys that I want to cross, and here you can see the Baltic Sea. This is where the regatta took place. Next come the flop of the guys from the pack crew and some unfinished flops. We will return to the side pieces later, but for now we go to the third floor. Next come piece of Stevie, a crossed piece, a piece of Nice and pieces of Pax Hecea screws with a carrick duck in such an Adidas sweatshirt, and a crossed pieces of SGE. Some incomprehensible but cool piece in anti-style takes longer, and piece of Atas and a piece of Pax screw. At the very top there are pieces of AC and AR. This place was recently clean and I wanted to do it there, but no luck. Next are pieces drawn in memory of the super writer from St. Petersburg who died of cancer in February 2022. Here we can see the Baltic Sea, the city itself, we can see Ukrainian flag, and here on the side there is a wall with piece of Cyrillic letters by Stan, but I don't really understand how to get out of there, so I won't climb down for one piece. Also near the super piece there is a jolly flop, and then comes the production of Bass, AC, NGR and LSD crews. Then a piece of NMRS, then some toys, and piece of Stan and piece of ACS. Again we go down to the second floor of the spot, but from the other side. Here is a Japanese cement bamboo carrick, then comes the Saro piece, very simple but very cool as for me. Then comes a piece, as I understand it, in memory of Gagarin and the Soviet space. And then comes a piece of Venus, and on the side a piece of a remix. Then we see a piece of a progressive and modern dude who doesn't give a fuck when you think of him. Then comes this kind of carrick, and then comes the flops of the guys from Pax and Heceas. A little further there are exactly the same flops but in a different place. We pass through the arc and see a large piece of Pax Bioliner, and after pacing a little more we will see a piece of Heceas. At the end of the wall we see a piece of Bulls and toy piece Julik in Russian letters. And also we see the seaside and a cups whose attention is better not to attract. On the outer wall there is a piece of BSGE, and piece is signed by the city of Frankfurt. The guys are Germans most likely, but I don't know them and can only guess. Then we go down. At the bottom, the first piece is meza, crossed by toys, then comes the old piece, I think it is written themi, and another toy piece Julik in Russian letters. Then comes a piece of hus, then a piece of before, then comes a piece of receipt, and then comes a piece of gold that I cannot read. A piece of someone who from Pax dated by the 18th year, and piece of lab, another piece of lab. Then the tunnel goes, and on the gate there is some unreadable piece, and here is the production of the guys from NGR. Crew, Emir, Snake, and one more piece. I will read it not right now. No, I can't read it this name. We return to the top, we see pieces of Passer and Gnome in Russian letters. Then there are flops, and after that comes the most cool piece from Passer. The dude is one of the youngest writers in Tallinn and makes graffiti almost the coolest in the city. Then comes some kind of Carrick, after a piece of C1 with Carrick 2, then a piece of the Kashat team. Then goes some kinds of abstraction, and then a big piece of Chizhik in Russian letters. After we see the piece of Utle from OPG crew, and after we see piece of Somi from Pax. And big piece no problem in Russian letter, без проблем on Russian. On the top we see piece of Jace. Might remember also have a tag Jace, but it's not him piece. After ultrawide tags LSD and KSH crossed, and more piece of Passer, and above and below Passer, piece C1, and one more production of Pax crew. In the end of this wall we see piece and chick, a piece of IFR crew, and flop more. On the front side we see the hams and Greek pieces, and big piece of HZK by Russian letters from Arkhangelsk, Russia. And in the finish we see flop and K and some toy pieces. It seems that the full spot has passed. Here is the gay piece again, and now we can go and do something yourself. At the moment when I was drawing, someone dickhead come out from the interior and started calling the police. I decided to move away, and I saw how the cops were driving from the old city in my direction. I decided to return the next day. You probably think that I am going in the afternoon, but now is it's white nights in Tallinn and it's 4 in the morning. I won't shoot I won't shoot the process. I will only shoot the result. About the spot itself, I will say that the place is atmospheric, interesting, but not safe in terms of drawing. Moreover, as is turned out, it has a status of an architectural monument, so I don't recommend it drawing here. How do you like this place? Write in the comments, put likes and subscribe to the channel. There will be more.